What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into the channel. Today it's going to be a little bit of a different video. I'm going to be going over a giveaway I'm going to be going over a deck, but it's going to be all commons, and I'm going to be giving this deck away after we do our pauper event at the store. So I'm going to record a few matches of the pauper event, probably going to be in the next couple of weeks. I've got to schedule that thing, but I'm going to then end up giving away this deck. This deck would be a nice starting point for someone if they want to go ahead and play maybe Leia or Sabine. So I'll be giving away Leia or Sabine, both a red and a green base, so you have your options. And every card in this deck is going to be either foil, hyperspace, or hyperspace foil. So obviously I would recommend playing Sabine with this deck. So here's the hyperspace one, but just because of the way that I built it, it is all commons. Again, it's pauper, so I recommend playing Sabine, but you can also play Leia. I'll include the hyperspace Leia in this giveaway. But again, I want to just say thank you to all the support I've been getting on the channel lately. Always appreciated. So this giveaway will end up happening the event probably not going to be this Friday, but the event is going to be probably the following Friday. So we'll schedule it the week after that. So that's what you guys have to look forward to. In this video, I'm going to be going over all the cards in the deck and just show you what forms of it. And then coming up in this week, I'm going to be doing a video series called, prep for store showdown. I have a store showdown on June 1st, and I'm going to be doing my prep and kind of going over my thought process with trying to make the deck that I want to play for that tournament, but I'm going to do it in a process and show you guys my thought process as well. So I'm going to be going over this week one of the decks I'm going to be starting off with, and then kind of branching off maybe different colors with the same leader until we get to June 1st, and then I'll tell you guys how I did in the June 1st showdown, and yeah, we'll go from there. And then also on Friday, we have a nice special video for you guys. Get ready for that, because it's going to be a really cool video for Friday. But without further ado, let's go ahead and go over the deck. This is a different way to do a deck list that I normally do, but I just want to show you guys the cards in person, the physical cards, and why I play each card. So obviously, we are playing the Spec 4 Soldier. We have 2 hyperspaces and 1 foil for you guys as the camera gets out of focus. But obviously, it is a nice 1-drop, and it's a good way to get rid of Sentinel on your opponent's units, maybe for late game if you have to swing in for game and they are going off that way and you kind of can't swing over their Sentinel. Drop that down, the unit will lose Sentinel for the turn. Hopefully you can go ahead and swing for game, right? Probably one of the most important cards in the deck for early speed here, right? You got the Battlefield Marine. All 3 of these are just foils, but they are 2-cost 3/3 vanilla units. Just, strong, really cheap units to go ahead and get them on the board. Now, I went ahead and decided to put in the Jedha Agitator. So we have 3 Jedha Agitators. We have 2 hyperspaces, 1 foil. It's a Saboteur, and on attack, it can go ahead and deal 2 damage to a ground unit or 2 damage to the base. So again, it provides good speed while you have your leader out on board. And if you have Sabine, she gets out really early, so you can get in a lot of damage really fast, really early. And even Leia coming out on 5, it's still a good leader to have. And then with Leia, you can go ahead and swing with her and then swing with him, because he is a rebel, and Leia's ability allows you to swing with both her and then a rebel right after her. So that's a really good way to make sure his ability goes off when you have both of them on the field to start a turn. Next, we have the Partisan Insurgent, right? So we have 2 hyperspace foils and 1 regular foil. If you control another aggression unit, gets raid 2. Very simple. It becomes a 3/4 attacking into the base, but again, it is a target to be swung into because it just has raids, so it won't do much damage back, but still a good unit to go ahead and deal damage into the base, especially if you have a lot of red units in this deck, which we have a decent amount, so you can make it kind of work, right? Next off, we have the Rebel Pathfinders, right? We have 2 hyperspaces and 1 hyperspace foil for you guys. Just a Saboteur, right? 2/3 Rebel Saboteur. And you're going to see that all the cards in here, for the most part, they're either Rebel or Trooper. And that's going to be the main theme of this deck. Majority of them are not forced, but meant to be Troopers. This is more of a Trooper deck than a Rebel deck, although there are a ton of Rebels as well. But you'll see why I kind of say that as we continue on here. Next, we have probably one of the most important cards of the deck. We have the Fleet Lieutenant. We have 2 hyperspace Fleet Lieutenants and 1 regular foil Fleet Lieutenant for you guys. When played, you may attack with a unit, and if it is a Rebel unit, it gets +2/+0 for this attack. Just a really good card. It should be in a lot of aggro decks, so it's it's just should be in there, right? Next, and this is why I kind of went with the more trooper vibe, right? And because it's pauper, it's all commons, but we are rocking the volunteer soldier in this deck because it makes this unit cheaper if you have a trooper on board. So if you have a trooper on board, this unit costs 1 less to play, and it has raid 1, so it is technically a 3/3 when it attacks, and you can play it for 2. So if you have 2 of them in your hand and it gets to the point where you have 4 resources, you can drop down 2 of them, and it can be really good way to get, you know, board momentum and still get like 2 pretty decently strong units in the process, right? And the trooper aspect, you know, again, makes it cheaper to play it, and there's a ton of troopers in this deck. Speaking of troopers, because we are playing aggro, we're going to try to get the initiative as much as possible, right? Especially if you are playing Leia. Now, this is not a target for Leia, but if you go ahead and grab the initiative, he goes ahead and he gets +2/+0 while you have the initiative, right? And we are going to be giving away 2 hyperspace foils and a regular foil of the sympathizer here. And yeah, it's I like the card. Oh, actually, it's a regular. So we have a hyperspace foil, a regular hyperspace, and a regular foil. We have 1 of each when it comes to the different variants, right? Except for the normal ones. Another really good card in this deck, you know, sometimes you need the Sentinel to protect your base. We have 2 hyperspace Echo-based defenders, and then we have a foil Echo-based defender. And again, it's just a Sentinel, but it's a really powerful one. It has 4 power, so it can deal out some good damage back to whatever swings into it. So Echo-based defender, really strong there. We're playing 2 Steadfast Battalion in this pauper deck. It has Overwhelm, which is just really strong, especially in pauper because things aren't like typically that strong. And then on attack, if you control a leader unit, you know, you can give +2/+2 to a unit, whether it be this unit or, you know, another unit you have. We're going to be giving away 2 foil versions of Steadfast Battalion. Next off, we have 2 foil variants of Gorilla Attack Pod in pauper. It is really good. In normal play, I'm not going to lie, I do include it in my aggro decks, but I rarely play it. And when I do, it just like doesn't really get to pop off the way I want it to, unless it's like my opponent grabs initiative and I still have all 6 resources and I can swing it per game. That's like the main point of the card. I understand that, but I don't really use it as much as I would have thought I would have, right? But we have 2 foil Gorilla Attack Pods here. It has grit, and when played, if your opponent or you have 15 or more damage on your base, it comes in ready. So not too bad. So those are all the ground units. We're playing a ton of ground units in this deck. We don't have many space units, but that being said, we have some. We have 6. But again, it's pauper, so you don't really have that many options. We're running Alliance X-Wing. Just adding more rebels in there. 2 foils, 1 hyperspace. Next off, we have the Green Squadron A-Wing. Probably one of the best space units that we can rock in this deck. It has raid 2. I have a hyperspace and 2 foils for you guys, but yeah, just a nice little raid 2 cost. It's a good card to kind of get out there early and try to control space with it. Although with raid 2 and only 1 attack, he is an easy target for your opponent, so you got to keep that in mind. But if you can get that down turn 1 and go ahead and swing it with your Fleet Lieutenant, you're swinging for 5 on turn 2, which with a lot of these units, you're doing the same thing, right? You're swinging for a ton of damage. But as you see, it's just a nice, simple, common package for the rebels and troopers for red and green, but they're all hyperspace or foils or hyperspace foils for you guys. That's part of the giveaway. I also think that like it is kind of hard to get some of the cards, so maybe if you haven't been able to get any cards and you want to get a chance to go ahead and get a starting like place, like this would be a good giveaway to enter, because you can go ahead and get a deck with like starting pieces, and then you can go ahead and add into the deck as you know you get pieces going further. So it's just a nice starting block, right? We have 3 hyperspace precision fires. Attack with a unit, it gains saboteur, and if it's a trooper, it gets +2/+0. This is a great card, especially in this deck, because almost everything in the deck except for the vehicles are troopers. So just keep that in mind, except for maybe the Gorilla Attack Pod, but everything is pretty much a trooper. And so you're going to be getting saboteurs to get around those sentinels, and then you can go ahead and swing for maybe 5, 6 if you have the Ardent Sympathizer, and if you have initiative with it, you're swinging for 7 potentially. So this could hurt really, really bad in certain situations on your opponent. So Precision Fire, they're all hyperspace, which I think are pretty cool, because I actually kind of prefer the regular hyperspaces over the hyperspace foils, but that's just me because I'm kind of stupid. Next, we have Keep Fighting. 1 hyperspace and 2 foils. Just ready up a unit with 3 or less power. A lot of the deck, obviously because they're all commons, majority of your deck is 3 or less power. So, you know, ready up that unit, go ahead and swing it for more damage. You're trying to play aggro, and you got to keep up the speed, right? Next up, we're playing 2 Open Fire. These ones are both foil, just a 3 cost, deal 4 damage. In Pauper, if your opponent's playing IG-88, you know, shoot him in the face. That's pretty much it. Because IG-88 is actually not terrible in Pauper, but you can kind of, you know, save this for him, and once he comes onto the board, just shoot him in the face. So, Open Fire, pretty good. It's a good form of removal. It's really all I have for removal. I could play Strike True, but I didn't have the special versions of them, so I kind of cut them out of the deck. Because again, I wanted to go ahead and give you guys the fancier cards for this deck, right? And next we have Infiltrator Skill. We're playing 3 of these in this deck. The attached unit gains Saboteur, which is just good again if you want to go ahead and swing over those Sentinels. If they can focus. This is a hyperspace foil variant of it, but it's like hating me right now. But it gets +1/+1 as well as Saboteur, so you're going to get a hyperspace foil version of the card and then 2 regular foils. Again, just a good way to get Sentinel on your units and make them a little bit stronger. And then we have 2 hyperspace foil Academy trainings. I just think the card looks really great. Actually, this is actually one of my favorite hyperspace foils because of like just how it looks, obviously. And then it just gives something +2/+2. Just makes something a little bit stronger. We can't play Wing Leader, so this is going to have to, you know, be your replacement for Wing Leader, essentially. So that's the deck, right? I'm going to be giving you the option to play Leia or Sabine in the deck that I'll be giving away. And the giveaway is how we always do the giveaways. We'll end up playing some matches over a stream. So we're going to be testing out some decks together. Maybe we can do it. Again, we're not going to be doing Pauper this Friday, but probably next Friday. So maybe the following week, I can go ahead and test out my deck that I'm getting ready for the store showdowns with you guys. And then we can get, you know, feedback on if I should change the deck before the showdown, right? We can kind of give and take in that giveaway stream. But it's the same as it always is. When we get into the stream, we'll all hang out. We'll play some games. We'll talk. And kind of, you know, get your guys' feedback on how your guys' store showdowns are going as well. I participated in a couple. I got top 8 with a Sabine red deck. Maybe I'll show off that deck, but it will be part of my preparation in terms of getting ready for these June 1st. This June 1st showdown, because I want to kind of go over the deck that I brought to the showdown that got top 8 and the changes I'm going to be making to maybe make it a little bit better. And I'm not going to go ahead and use Sabine. I have my reasoning behind that, which I'll go over in that video and kind of talk to you guys about why I'm switching off that leader. But with that being said, I hope you guys are excited for this giveaway. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for the support lately. It's greatly appreciated as always. And if you guys are new here and you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit that sub button. Support is always appreciated. We're almost up to 3,000 subscribers, so maybe we'll get there by the start of, you know, set 3 drops, which is pretty cool. And with that being said, I'm going to go on and get out of here. Again, thank you so much for the support. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.